Jason comes in really quickly. I know we're all watching the news. For those of you that are praying people in this room, which I know everybody is in their own way, we've got about 30 families, KW families in California that have lost everything they own except for the clothes they ran out on and their pets. So just know, keep them in your prayers. We have a lot of people on the West Coast. I know it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, that just are really, they're gouge pricing, or price gouging on the rent now and they can't find homes, they can't find apartments, and yes.
And if you can do a KW Cares.
Yep, I was getting to
different
that, yep.
Cares for kids
That's right, yeah.
on every closing, or you can make a commitment to do once a month. And just remember that if we ever had a disaster in our area, they will always come and help, but they might be in the position to be a little more generous if they can show that we're a market center that has helped in the past.
That supports, yeah, yeah. So I think they're at 17 grants, emergency grants that are $5,000 they've issued over the weekend to help people just to try to find a place to give them immediate funds. I know they're working on the other grants, which are $30,000, but there are just a lot of people right now out in that side of the
We
country.
did a
that-
lot in Asheville.
Yeah, we did a lot, yeah, for our, and in Augusta, our family in Augusta. But just, anyway, my point is, just say a prayer for those people, because we got a lot of people out there that are just not as fortunate to be in this amazing environment that we are today. So just feeling grateful. All right, Mr. Mons. Dun, 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 drum roll, let me in the drum roll.
And everybody was like, oh, wow, they're coming in for you. I said, no, everybody's just ready to get back to work. That's what's going on.
And
Oh, yeah, yesterday was my birthday.
hold please. Happy birthday.
Oh.
Not a puppy. Happy birthday. And there's something, are we gonna bring that in so he can see that? We have something really special.
Hope it's something embarrassing.
When you see the top of it, you'll get it.
That's from one of my OGs right there. We grew up together in this place. She's like, embarrass that guy. Hey, Charlie dog. Oh.
So it is an ice cream, chocolate and peanut butter cake.
Peanut butter has got to have peanut butter in it. Come on.
And there is a photo of Jason that we had airbrushed on the
Yes.
that you might recognize.
Is it the photo? The zebra. It's not the zebra photo. It's not the zebra photo.
Hey. It's not when I dressed up like a pimp. It was when.
It was homecoming this year, Pimp, with the
when I
zebra.
dressed up like a pimp to talk about dressing up like a pimp.
Yeah. So, ready?
Thank you.
No. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jason. Okay.
Is right. You're welcome. All right, so there we go. Thrive in 25. Thrive in 25. We're here for the kickoff for the 2025 year. And I was at KWRI in November, and I was taking some classes, and they gave us a tour around the renovated parts of KWRI, and they had this big Thrive in 25, and I took a picture of it. I'm like, this is going everywhere that I go in 2025, and every time I talk, it's gonna be Thrive in 2025. I absolutely love it. But I wanna hear from you. You know that I like hearing what's going on in your head. So what do you think about when you think about 2025?
Opportunity.
Opportunity,
Hopeful.
hopeful, potential, I heard. What else? Say again?
The year of success.
The year of success. I like it.
Thankful.
Thankful. Very good one. Yes. What else?
Mine is, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Change,
Revive.
revive, revive in 25.
Revive.
All right. So what do you talk about when you talk about 25? Because you have these conversations, what do you talk about? Opportunity, goals,
New beginnings.
new beginnings. What do you talk about with your clients, your potential clients? How are you framing 2025? Have you had conversations with clients about 2025?
Bueller?
Like, see, here's where I'm going with this is we're going to talk about, you know, that I'm going to show you some data, you know, that I'm going to show you some things about what's coming in the market. I was having a conversation before this with Sandy, and I'm so glad that y'all got to meet Sandy Tate. Sandy is a wonderful person. I've known her for now 26 years and have done business with Sandy for 26 years. And she's just an amazing business person. She will always be there for you. What she talks about the company and how they run the company and their ability to be nimble and make decisions and do things quickly, she's right about that. And she cares deeply about the relationship with y'all. But I was talking with her out there. She's like, what do you think? I said, well, we're going to talk about it here, but I think 2025 is going to be what you make it, because it's going to look very similar to 2024. And it's not going to make or break you. You're going to make or break you in 2025. And so you get to choose. I'm choosing to thrive in 2025, maybe revive in 2025. I love the word for the year. I encourage you to do the word for the year. That's really, really great. Let's define thrive. So thrive or success in real estate, what does that mean? What does that mean to thrive or succeed in real estate? You thought you were just coming to hear me talk. You didn't know that you were gonna, you know that if you come in the room with me, you're gonna need to talk a little bit. Yes.
I would say consistent, predictable income,
Consistent, predictable income.
like getting off of the
I like that.
the commission roller coaster
like
that.
Consistent, predictable income. What else?
I would say what speaks to me is overcoming obstacles.
Overcoming obstacles. Thriving. Yes, I like it.
For me personally, it's just growth. That's what it's gonna
Growth.
be for me to succeed in this business,
Great.
seeing that growth.
I'm so glad that y'all are starting this conversation with for me personally, because that is the truth in real estate. It is a for me personally conversation about thriving and succeeding. You're in an environment that is bigger, 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 millionaire real estate agent, multi-million dollars in commission and net profit. Have a bigger life, make a goal, double it, double it, double it, you know, and you're like, okay, you know, like, how am I ever gonna do that? And the reality is that your definition of success and thriving in real estate will be different than the person next to you, very likely. And so we want to, in this environment, have you to really get in touch with what your goal is and what it means to succeed for you, and then help you with that plan to reach that level of success, productivity, production. I love Jeff Glover and Glover U's definition, where their tagline is to have your unreal life. So it's like your unreal life. And Nikki and I worked, she still works with Kate Simon, the head coach for Glover U, and I worked with her for a while, and she would always ask the question, what does your unreal life look like in this season of your life? That's a really good question to think about. What does your unreal life look like in this season of your life? I will tell you that in 20 years ago, an unreal life for me and Nikki looked different than it does now. And so you get to these different seasons and you have to define success and thrive, or else you will be chasing someone else's definition of success for you. So I encourage you to really come and get in touch with that. It's part of the big why process. It's part of having a reason for doing what you're doing. But it's clearly defining what does success and what does thriving mean for you. So y'all had great answers for that. I know KW, career's worth having. You have a career, when I think career, I think longevity. Career is worth having. Business is worth owning. A business worth owning is generally profitable business. That's an important part of business worth owning. lives worth living, you have to have a life, because you can sacrifice a life to build a profitable business. And so those go together, where a career worth having, a business worth owning, a life worth living, and then experiences worth giving. So we need to be able to do things with the people that are important to us, and then thinking longer term, legacies worth leaving. So, I love that mantra of KW. It's wonderful. And then you put on top of that the Jeff Glover, the Glover your unreal life. Again, your unreal life. So we're gonna talk more about that in just a minute. I think at the turn of the year is always a good time to pause and reflect. So just taking a moment and looking back at what we've been through, what we've done in 2024, asking yourself a series of questions. John Maxwell, so the conventional wisdom is that experience is the greatest teacher. But I love what John Maxwell says. He says, experience isn't the greatest teacher, because if that were true, everybody would get better as they get older, because you have all experience. And people, they don't all get better. We don't all get better as we get older. So John says that reflection turns experience into insight. And so it's not the experience that grows and builds you. It's reflecting on the experience to turn the experience into insight, then applying that insight into what you're going to do next to grow. So Nikki and I have this process that we do every year, and it's an exercise where it's not like an exercise. It's an exercise where we go away for a little retreat right on a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Many years ago, we found ourselves New Year's Eve at the house, thinking that the kids were going to join us for ringing in the new year. You get to a point in life where the kids just don't join you for that, okay? So we said, why in the heck are we sticking around here? And so we would go away for a day or two, just kind of like right then around New Year's. And we would do this exercise. And we've been doing it for years and years. And it's a reflection where we look back, and we have a material, it's a little booklet that a coach gave me a long time ago. And it gives a very clear path of reflecting on last year, questions that you answer. And then a very clear path in questions that you look around. So you look back, you look around questions, and then you look forward and set intentionality and goals for the coming year. It's a really great process. We do it every year. We try to do it in a beautiful place. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just somewhere where we can look across a mountain or an ocean or a body of water, something God made, kind of get inspired, and then we do it independently, but together. And so it takes us several hours to go through this process, and we'll stop and have coffee and whatever, but we don't talk about our answers while we're answering. Then we take a break and we get back together and we review each other's answers for the look back, look around, look forward. And it's something that where she will see things that I didn't see. She'll get insight to experiences that we had that I did not see the insight to that experience. And so by sharing that, then we compound the benefit of the experience that we had in the previous year, then look around, how are things going? I may see things differently than her. Then what are our independent goals we're going after or that we want to go after together? And there's alignment for moving forward because we understand where each other is in that moment and where each other wants to go in the coming year. So I strongly, if you want that reflection exercise, jasonbonds@kw.com, super easy. I will email it to you. There's no secret sauce to it other than just having an intentional thing around that. And that has shaped our year for many years and given us alignment. And it's turning experience into insight. Just a list of questions. This isn't something we're going to go into today, but these are just some of the types of questions that you might choose to reflect on. But again, I'll send you that if you want it. Okay. So the real estate landscape, what's going on in 2025? So I'm not going to spend all day on charts and graphs, but I do want to give you some reason why I believe that we have the opportunity to thrive in 2025. I'm gonna thrive in 25, I believe. And I know that you can thrive in 25. And so here's why. This is the number of transactions in the US. So I'm gonna give you some national stuff. I'm gonna give you some local stuff. You can see that, you know, kind of before COVID, crazy town, kind of then, okay, back to normal, then the bottom. And so 2024 at 4.6 million units, that was a tough year for the number of transactions compared to the number of agents in the marketplace going after those transactions. And so you still had the opportunity to thrive because so many agents in 2024 were acting the same as they did in 2021. And so there were a lot of agents not doing transactions in 2024 because they didn't make the proper adjustments to the marketplace. And I've shared with you before in this room, one of the things that we saw was a greater separation between the agents that are killing it and the agents that are struggling to keep their head above water. And a lot of that reason was because of the activities that they were choosing to do or not to do. So the projection for 2025 is 5.1 million units, which is a little over 10% more transactions in 25 than 24. Projection for 26 is better than that, but I'm telling you, 10% more transactions. We're off the bottom, and I'll show you in just a minute. We are solidly off the bottom, and that 25 is going to be better than 26. This is just right here. I always pull kind of zip codes right around our backyard to give you the information that is relevant to this market center. And I always encourage you to pull the numbers for your marketplace that you're doing business in and talking to your clients in. But so under contract over a 2-year period, down 3%, sold up 8.6. That's a flat market, slightly up, I would say, with the sold because I'm looking at what closed, up slightly 6%. This is 3%. This is the interesting thing. December 23 versus December 24, 18% more under contracts and 37% more sold. We had like a blowout closing month in December. And I know I've talked to a lot of agents and they have completely felt that, like a big closing month in December. And the whole fourth quarter of 24 was better than the fourth quarter of 23. So all these things are just pointing to off the bottom momentum. There are signs in the marketplace that point towards a solid 25. This is month supply of inventory. We came up into the mid 3s and just kind of stayed there for most of the rest of the year last year. You know, that always tends to go down when we get into spring buying season. So it was a good thing that inventory increased because it gave more options to the buyers, your buyers, our buyers, because that, it's when it's stifling low, it's very challenging to work with a buyer when they have very few things to choose from. And so when you have more inventory in the marketplace, it's just better for everyone. We've seen that inventory pick up, which is great. Hopefully the listings will continue to come on the market, which will continue to give us choices as the buying season comes into play. This is something that I just wanted to show you. I thought it was interesting. The number of expireds have increased dramatically. So as the days on market expand, you will see more listings expire. And so if you're looking for a new lead lever in 2025 to potentially put a few more transactions in the hopper for yourself, this might be a good lead lever to look at because it's now ready business. We're talking bottom of the funnel business, not like, I talk to people sometimes like, man, I really need to do some more transactions in the next quarter. I'm like, great. And they say, you think I should do farming? We're like, no, because farming is a long, 2-year play. So if you need transactions in the next quarter, you need to get in touch with people that are now ready, willing, able, get in the way of a deal that's about to happen. And that's where expireds are. Expireds are the bottom of the funnel. They've already told you they're willing to work with a real estate agent. And here, and this is December to December, again, 37% more expireds in December 24 than 23. And then this is the average days between expiration and relisting, around average of 53. 80 for those who listed with a different agent, 41 for those who listed with the same agent. But this is the money slide that you would put in a presentation and work into your scripts and dialogues, is that when the seller relisted with a different agent, 23 days on market, relisted with the same agent, 46. when they relist with a different agent, they sell it in half the time. I don't know, that's a pretty good statistic. I would put that in my conversation if I were calling on expireds. All right, so let's also talk, you guys can get these slides too, and you're welcome to take pictures, and if you need me to move because you don't want my smiling mug in the picture, just, put your phone up and that's cue for me to be like that. Mortgage rate projections. Look, what are mortgage rates gonna do? Who knows? That's the right answer. Thank you very much. Was that Sue? Did Sue say that? Yeah.
Jamie.
Oh, Jamie,
Yeah.
Jamie said it, yes. Who knows? Exactly right. Yes, that's true. And there are super smart people and there's some information that can kind of point you in the right direction. And the direction that these super smart people are saying is that they're gonna be in the sixes. And, the great thing is that the marketplace has already come to terms with the sixes. And so, look, if it's over 7, it creates a different mental narrative for people. And there's also challenges with affordability, more challenges with affordability over 7. It stays in the 6s, you're okay. The deeper that it gets into the 6s, and be aware, again, I've told you guys before, be in touch with your database strike point and know the people that like, hey, I know you can't do it, you don't want to do a transaction now, but at what interest rate, or what would the interest rate have to be for you to want to move, put your house on market, buy a house, whatever you're having that conversation about. And if they tell you an interest rate, well, then that's that person's strike point. And so when something happens in the world and the economy and all of a sudden the interest rates drop 0.25%, and you know that you're hitting those people with that strike point and get them in the marketplace. So a quarter or anywhere 0.25% movement in the marketplace is going to create quite a bit of velocity to the marketplace, but it's just going to stay somewhere in that 6s. Mortgage rates have averaged in the 6s for the past 2 years. Lawrence Yun, chief economist of NAR. And so, the market's accepted it. It doesn't mean that it's not a challenging thing for the marketplace. There are a lot of people that will kind of talk with you and tell you to tell people like, historically, the interest rates are average 7.8, so 6 is great. And I don't really love that conversation personally, just because when you talk about a big, long historical average, you take this time period back here when they were 8, 9, 10, with Jimmy Carter, they were 18, and it's, yeah, so like they were 18% back then. All the conditions were different back then. We have a conditioned marketplace with a conditioned buyer and seller. We have people in houses right now with sub-4, sub-3, 30-year long-term financing. Like, that's a reality for them right now, and telling them the 30-year average of interest rates is not going to change that reality for them. But what you can do is you can find solutions for them. And so I like the reality piece of it and then solutions, and you being a consultant so that you're there to help someone make the decision when is the right time for them and what are the tools that they can use to achieve their real estate goals. Instead of being like, traditionally they were whatever, and during the car dealer, they were this, and so just deal with it. It's like, well, so, but the marketplace has accepted it. You get stories like this that are talking about buyers getting used to the rates, home transactions broadly up, consumer sentiments improving, and home sales momentum's building. When you see stories like this is always a little late. But it's again, just good. These are good things for you to think about, for you to have that position in your mindset and business, that there's opportunity to thrive in 2025. Last couple of things, pricing. These are all the super smart people and organizations that predict pricing, and the average of them is 2.9% appreciation in 2025. I love that number. I love that number. Here's why. I love that number because it's below the 4% trend line. So 4% trend line is that average line that they say, if it gets above that, we're too high appreciation, gets low, it's too low. It's below the trend line, but it's not devaluing, okay? So if it's below the 4% trend line, it gives an opportunity for the market to catch up and recover a little bit. A little bit of wage growth, a little bit of deceleration of inflation, a few more dollars in savings. It allows the marketplace to catch up. And the price of the house is not evading them faster than they're making progress in their financial household. And so I love it that it's low and below the 4% trend line. And I really love it that it's not negative, because as soon as the market devalues, the conversation changes dramatically. Mental, everything, sky is falling. There's a lot of other emotional and mental factors that come into play in a devaluing marketplace. So I love this number, and I hope that that's what it is. And I'll also tell you that here in the Southeast and in the Atlanta metro area specifically, we generally outpace, whenever it's reasonable, we'll generally outpace it, because this market is built on strong fundamentals with population growth and good job availability and affordability and those kinds of things. So I got like 2 more slides left. So I saw one yawn in the room. It's okay. But I just, I know I need to speed up just a little bit. It's cool. Yes, ma'am.
Numbers like from Freddie Mac and Zillow and all of those, where do those forecasts come from?
These are organizations where they have their own economists, and they're crunching these numbers in an organization, and they make a prediction. And so these are organizations where we say they know a thing or two about real estate. So when their group of people that analyze these things give a number, we pay attention to. And if you look at that long term, you'll kind of get, you'll begin to see who has rose-colored glasses and who's kind of always sky is falling, like who do they have in their offices, and so, so that's why you get the big picture. So here's another thing I love, is that real estate is the single best wealth building vehicle in the country. And there isn't even a close second. Okay, this is what we get to do. We get to help people build wealth, get into the home where they do life in, buy investment properties. We get to help them build wealth. I love this slide. If you buy a house at the average price and you just have moderate appreciation over the next 5 years, you have $83,000 in equity in that house. This is what we get to do. Is it a good time to buy property? Yes, it's always the right time to buy the right piece of property. And so $83,000 in equity, I'm going to show it to you right here too. This is a consumer finance study by the Federal Reserve in 2022, and there are a lot of numbers on there, but I'm just going to tell you what this says at the bottom. This is net worth in households in different age ranges. And they break the net worth down from homes, equity in your home, and all other assets. Every single age group, the equity that they have in their home is far greater than the equity they have in all other assets, and many of these are double. So again, it's the single greatest wealth building vehicle in the country, and there's not even a close second. This is what we get to do. So I want you to see that, and here it is on a bumper sticker. Homeowner's net worth versus renter's net worth. The homeowner's net worth is 40 times greater than the net worth of a renter. Big numbers. That is a big idea that you're on the tip of the spear on this, and you get to help people to do this in their life. So I want you to be passionate about what you get to do. You're not just going to get a commission. You're helping people to build wealth with real estate. So I love it. I hope you get jazzed up about that as I do. All right, so Thrive in 2025. We're gonna play a game. And I need to move on because the rest of the time here, we don't have that much time left. Do I have something in the back end I gotta save time for?
Oh, just for our vendor, our sponsor for our lunch and stuff.
Okay, very good. So, all right, so I'm gonna show you a picture. I want you to tell me what is the difference between the two pictures. It's one of those little picture games. Okay, ready? All right, see, charts and graphs put you to sleep, but little picture game, bring you back. All right, what's the difference? Yeah, you got them all. Y'all are so good. Yep, so. 3 differences in 3 seconds. Y'all did it in like 2.5. You're overachievers. All right, so here's the next one. Spot the differences. Agent A and Agent B.
Holding a pen,
It's
one
mirrored.
holding a tablet.
One is great and one is not.
It's the same picture. There's no difference.
It's
It's the same picture. And you guys got it. That Agent A has a roaring pipeline of business and Agent B doesn't. This agent right here has the ability to consistently put transactions in the pipeline. And this agent is struggling to put transactions in the pipeline. And look, they look exactly the same. You walk down the hall, you can't tell agent A from agent B. You have a conversation in the hall, everything's great. You can't tell. You can't tell the difference between agent A and agent B, but I want to dig in. I'm going to take the rest of the time that we have together, and I want to dig in with you and have a conversation about what is the difference. What are the differences you don't see? Look, this is a Facebook post. Not really, I just got this off the internet, but somebody would post this picture and be like, hey, 10 closings this hour, you know? So what are the differences that we cannot see from agent A and agent B? Tell me the differences.
Diligence.
Diligence,
Mindset.
activities, mindset,
Consistency.
consistency, yes. Consistency beats intensity every day of the week, hands down. What else? I have this whole list. We're gonna go over my list too. I'm just make sure you get a chance to contribute. What are the difference? What else?
Commitment,
Commitment,
pipeline.
commitment, yes.
One has a big why.
One has a big why. Yes, yeah. But I mean, y'all are just hitting my list left and right.
Knowledge level.
Knowledge level, yes. All right, so let's talk through some of these. We're gonna dig into, you said so many of them, and you know, one of them is that agent A thinks of her business like a business. And agent B does not necessarily think of a business like a business. If you don't think of your business like a business, you won't run it like a business. And you're more likely to fail. Another one is too much flexibility in the schedule. So many people, they're like, I want to get into real estate because I want to be my own boss and make my own schedule. That's good. However, you do have to earn flexibility in a business that you own. You have to earn that. You have to put the work in and build the business that then affords you flexibility. And again, I just want to make very, very clear, I want to put this back into the framework of your unreal life. Not, you know, for you to do $10 million in commission, you must be this. I'm talking every single one of these things we're going to talk about applies to a wide range of goal levels. And so you have to do it, you know, what is best for you. But so flexibility, I often tell people, you know, okay, you wanted to work for yourself. Okay, you wanted to be your own boss. Would you hire you or would you fire you? If you had someone working for you, like you work for you, would you hire that person or would you put that person on probation and give them some activities that they need to accomplish and have some, like a plan to get back? Saying, that's, so, you know, those days where you were busy all day long, you're busy all day long, but you really didn't do anything productive. I've had those days where I'm busy all day long. I didn't really do anything. I didn't move the needle forward. I didn't make a difference in anything. You know, I didn't do anything that was going to create productivity. And so you can be busy, but not be productive. Proverbs 14:23, hard work pays off, but mere talk puts no bread on the table. Just need a scripture put on that. Take it to church for a minute. Okay, here's another one that I see is agent A is knowledgeable, yes. Got enough knowledge to then put the knowledge into action. Agent B can be a full-time student. You can't confuse being learning-based and a lifelong learner with being a full-time student. You cannot be a full-time student and be a successful, thriving real estate agent. You have to put the knowledge that you have into action And then you run into something that you haven't done or you need more help with, and then you go get some more knowledge, and then you go back into more action. You have to be learning for doing sake, not learning for learning's sake. And this is a big one, especially for starting out your real estate career, because you're encouraged to go to class. You're encouraged to go to all of the things because we come into this business not knowing much about the business. And we don't want you to be a loose cannon out there, just like, and a liability to yourself and the organization. So we want you to get trained on certain things, but you have to then turn it into action and activity. Don't be a full-time student. Here's another one, running from accountability. Okay, Agent A, I'm sure, has accountability in her life and people who will speak truth to her and help her to see where the gaps are. Agent B is likely running or hiding from accountability. I think you need to have accountability in every area. I need accountability in every area of my life, professionally, personally, spiritually, health, physically, financially. I need accountability in every single one of those areas in my life if I want to thrive and be the version of success for me and have my unreal life that I define. And so I strongly encourage you to find accountability. I promise you that Agent A has some accountability in her life. Somebody said big Y. Was it? Sue, big Y. Yes. You have to do the hard work to get in touch with the reason why you're doing the things that you're going after. Because look, there is crying in real estate. There really is. It's simple, but it's not easy. And you'll run into challenges that will challenge every fiber of yourself. And when you hit those challenges, you have to be able to tap into why it is that you started this in the first place. Every single person gets into real estate with a dream of what real estate can do and be for you. And you can get to a point, if you are Agent B, where that dream dies and you move on to something different. And so, but if you are really in touch with your big why and the reason behind what you're doing, then when you hit those challenges, that brick wall, you're more likely to push through that wall. Okay. Here's another one. I bet you Agent A has built her business around a database that is mature and properly communicated with. Agent B might have a database and look, we lie to ourselves, just so you know. I lie to myself. The human mind left unchecked can rationalize anything. You've heard that from me a million times if you've been anywhere near me for the last however many years. The human mind left unchecked can rationalize anything. And we lie to ourselves that we have and we're working a database when we're really not working a database, because those numbers, when you do a lead gen plan, if you want this many transactions, you need to have this many people in your database. Well, I see so many people where they just dump contacts into a CRM, press click, and congratulations, now you're spamming a group of people that don't like you or know you. And where the database is doing a touch program with a group of people who know you, like you, and trust you, want to do business with you, want to help you, that database is a really important piece of almost like you go to successful agents, 95% of successful, thriving agents, their number one lead source is a database that it's mature and they're properly communicating with it. So have to build around a database. Next thing is that if Agent B here, probably not sticking to a plan. Probably not sticking to a plan. You have to avoid shiny objects. You have to make peace with the boredom of success. You have to make peace with the boredom of success. You have to get to a point where you're willing to do the same thing over and 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 over. You get what I'm saying? Over and over and over again. It's got some bad words in it, but there's a really good interview with Marshawn Lynch about his running back. He's like, he would plow through, he's talking about running through people's faces over and over and over and how he got the defense to back down. was he run through people's face over and over and over and over. And that's just what you have to do. You have to make peace with that type of consistency. Thank you for saying consistency. Because consistency is the key. Craig Rochelle, I've said it to you many times, says successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. And we have this problem. You're pretty isolated in this business, although we're a community and we've got all of this great camaraderie and everything. You're pretty isolated, like it's up to you. So that's one of the reasons you've got to have accountability. But you can, you're isolated and you're supposed to have done all of these things and you didn't. Maybe not you didn't. Agent B didn't. Didn't do all those things, okay? Then Agent B did one of those things one time. So instead of doing it consistently, did it occasionally. Yes, I did the thing and run around. I did the thing. I did the thing. What do we do? We're like, yes, good job. Congratulations. Woo! You did the thing. You are winning. You're not winning. We lie to ourselves. And then well-meaning people lie to us because they want to encourage us. I want to encourage you. Great job. But if we're consulting and we're in an accountability relationship, I'm going to have a reality conversation with you about how behind you are. Great job on doing that that one time. Now you need to do it over and over. So, all right, the other thing, don't manage money. When you don't manage your money, it impacts an agent's mindset, number one, because, so often there's a problem in this business. I see it all the time. I've been in almost 30 years. The income can fluctuate sometimes greatly, but like if you're doing all the right things, there's still a little fluctuation. And what happens is agents, they have a good little season and they slap their lifestyle right up against the top line of their income. Just smack their lifestyle right up to the top of that income. And then in the next little dip, survival, total survival. Like, I didn't need that car. I didn't need that thing. We shouldn't have spent money on that thing. I have to go make more money. Now that changes your mindset and it changes how you talk. It changes your activities. It changes your time that you have, because we see so many times too, where now an agent has to go side hustle to get income to be able to stay in it. And now you don't have time to be a full-time agent. It's like that when you do not manage your money, it will impact so many things in your world. So another thing, so Agent A here, not taking no for an answer. I mean, running through walls. You got to have a grit, determination, tenacity about yourself in this business where you are just going after it. And also, the Agent A is not telling anybody, not letting anybody tell her that it's impossible. Like what you're wanting to do is impossible. So those are just some of the differences that I see in this picture that I can't see, but I know exists in these pictures between Agent A and Agent B. Because I've lived in the community with agents for so many years. I've personally experienced it so many times. And those are so many things. So here's just kind of like the list. You get your big why. Determine the goal that aligns and supports your unreal life. So you've got to have that big why and you've got to be totally in tune with it. You got to get real about the activities that it takes to get there. You can't fool yourself into having an activities, a calendar like you did in 2021 to be successful in 2025. You just can't do it. You have to get real. It's available to us. You just have to be realistic about it. Build a schedule around those activities and then work the schedule consistently. I didn't think I'd overplayed it. I would do the over thing again. I think I've overplayed it. Layer in accountability in your business and in your personal life. I implore you, I beg you to have accountability. I've told y'all many times, look, I pay for coaches and so that's a money thing. And I also have peers and I have this small group of 3 guys that we are accountable every day. Every single day we're texting each other answers to a list of questions that we know that we need to be that person, to be the godly man of God, husband, father, community person, business person, all of those things. And we are accountable to each other. And in 8 years now, it'll be 8 years in June, it'll be 8 years, that every single day we do a text accountability, and we have not missed a day in 7.5 years. Personal accountability for something that matters to me. Business accountability. Look, I've hidden from coaches and accountability, and I've done all of those things. Then I get my mind right, and I submit myself to the process of accountability, and I'm always more successful, more productive, and the better version of me when I do that. Layer accountability in your life. Build an environment that supports your habits and your goals. Very, very important. And stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Please stick to the plan. We are just so thrown off by every wind and shiny object in this business, and there are so many pulls at you that are going to try to get you off that plan. The path to success is very knowable. It's tried, true, tested, proven, predictable. You just have to stick to the plan and do it. Very, very important. So that's my deal. Here's the thing. I believe we can thrive in 2025. I think it's up to you. You're gonna choose. I want us to thrive, to go build careers worth having, lives worth living. I want you to have businesses worth owning. I want you to give experiences to those people that you love, and I want you to leave a legacy. I want you to thrive, and it all starts right now with that list of things. And I know that you can build your unreal life in 2025. So thank you for your time.
All right, they're the pro, come on up. Oh, yeah. You not gonna come up with it? You just stand back there? No, she's like, no, Brian's got the photo day. All right, go for it.
So I have a.
Yep.
All right, so I'm Brian, CertaPro Painters, Northeast Georgia. CertaPro is North America's largest painting company, but residentially we have zip codes. So all of Atlanta, you call it CertaPro.com, you're gonna get a CertaPro to take care of you. So don't worry too much about what you get me. I'll do a great job for you, but don't focus on whether you get me or the neighbors. They all do a great job for you. First thing is, you guys have customers, you guys are customers. 10% discount on our services for you or your clients, as long as you mention it up front. Not one of those last minute, oh, by the way, what about you? All right, so high level interior painting, drywall repairs, cabinet painting, trim installation repair, painting wall, ceilings, trims, and normal things you paint in the house. Exterior painting, carpentry repairs, non-structural. I'm not gonna build a deck for you. I can fix parts of the deck for you. I can fix rot in the house. Pressure washing is part of painting. I'm not gonna paint pressure wash just because. You probably are better with a pressure washing company for that. Front door refinishing. I don't know how often you guys are looking at those front doors while you're fiddling with the keys and the customer is sitting there going, wow, this place looks like shit. We can fix that a little bit. First impressions matter. Apologize to the client. Painting, siding, trim, etc., deck, fence staining. We also have now taken on gutter, downspout repairs and replacement. Give you an idea of where we do serve, pretty much everything around the lake and most of north of it. I'm going fast since I know where to take. All right,
Breathe.
but you know our area. All right, so problems painting can fix: interiors, refresh, drywall repairs, trim. I'm not a realtor, but I know there's something called the 7 Ds. All those things with real estate and rates, they're gonna keep going, but life still keeps happening. So the 7 Ds, they might be delaying someone's decision and making, or 7 Ds keep happening, but those rates and things that are making them wait, they're eventually gonna have to admit that they need to go ahead and move on. So I tied the dog, okay. Maybe they're moving because they want to have a fenced backyard. If they need a fenced backyard, they need to take care of that fence. The person moving out of the house, the kid grew up, time to downsize maybe, the kid got married. So first-time home buyers, maybe they're the ones buying the home. They're probably on a lower budget, but they still want to make their home their own. If they're on the seller side, because the parents can downsize, then they may have better budget, but they're still trying to do two things. I mean, when you guys look at us and you go to a job, you're gonna need a closing attorney in every job. You need a mortgage on most jobs. Good idea to do the warranty, but you don't need to paint every time. But you do know there's jobs you look and you know immediately, I need help. I need painting help. The diapers, you had a baby, we like to make the nursery. Maybe that's why they upsize, need to buy a bigger home. The downsizing ones, death, divorce, debt. Selling might mean they need to refresh what they put on the market, repair the damaged drywall, paint over stains and markings, neutralize wool colors, so. I went fast. So, but, yeah, any questions? I'm glad to, come to individual offices instead of trying to do everyone all at once, but, we're here when you need us for painting needs.
Awesome. For lunch today, so thank you for lunch today.
You got the fun stuff out there?
Awesome. Really quickly, we have a lot of new faces in the room. We have some new people in the room. So if you see somebody that you don't know, please introduce yourself. Always gonna take it back to church. Say hey to everybody. Enjoy lunch. Happy New Year. Each person in this room is gonna get a call from me in the next 2 weeks, directly from me about sitting down and so for some super high accountability. So be think about a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is like, you're gonna not like me. But you're gonna love me. It's gonna be a love-hate relationship, so be thinking about that. So you guys are all gonna get a call from me to start working on that stuff for this year. Failure isn't an option for me. Jason knows that. It is, we are a house full of successful people, smart people, and we all have an amazing opportunity this year. And again, I wanna thank everybody for all the sweet notes and flowers and cards and all the things. I'm looking forward to this year, grateful for my family here, and just love each and every one of you. So we are all gonna have a great year, and thanks for being here, and please go have lunch and go enjoy some peanut butter cake
Hey.
for the birthday boy. Yeah, and if you need us, you know where to find us, and we'll see you guys hopefully in the next couple of days for our disc class or all the classes coming up. So go be free and enjoy. Thanks, guys.